Caps for Alexander Usyk, man. Got Daniel Dubois out of there. Knocked him out. Knocked him out. 5 rounds. Stoppage. Absolute light work for Alexander Usyk, man. Rubber stamping himself in this heavyweight division. Rubber stamping himself in the era, actually. 2-time undisputed now in the heavyweight division. Undisputed already in the cruiserweight division. Beat Tyson Fury twice. Is beating Anthony Joshua, first of all, twice. Now he's beaten Daniel Dubois twice as well. Is there anyone out there that can defeat Alexander Usyk? They're now talking about Joseph Parker. They're now talking about Ajit Kabay. You know, they're talking about Zhilei Zhang. They're talking about, is anyone out there, we're calling out in this heavyweight division, can anybody beat Alexander Usyk? You know what? That would be a good series, you know. Can anyone beat Alexander Usyk? You know, that would be a good thing. That's maybe something Turkey Al Sheikh could look at, like a mini series or something. Maybe there's a group of fighters that are looking to maybe challenge, you know, the top guy in heavyweight division. Can anyone beat Alexander Usyk? This fight, it was interesting, man. I said in my pre-fight video, the ways I thought like Daniel Dubois would be able to sort of go about the fight, you know, to be able to beat Alexander Usyk. My thing was sort of, if Daniel Dubois wants any chance of beating Alexander Usyk, he's going to have to jump on him early, educated pressure. You know, he can't be there fencing, trying to box Alexander Usyk, because it was never going to work. It was never going to work. So he had to be pressing, sitting on the chest of Alexander Usyk, applying that pressure on the front foot. But it seemed a bit too difficult for Daniel Dubois to do. Like, he did try to, like, in spots, like, be aggressive. I feel like he did struggle to sort of cut off the ring. That's something he did struggle to do. He sort of, there was no sort of any sort of set up to the body at all, because considering they've been talking about the body shots, there was no setup to the body at all that I did see there. And yeah, it was just sort of a tough night for Daniel Dubois. He looked a bit sort of confused. Like what am I supposed to do now? My shots are not landing. Like what's going on now? And Usyk from the very first round was like landing like stiff right jabs, like from the off, and that sort of set the tone from the fight from the beginning to the end. Daniel Dubois getting knocked out. He got dropped first of all, where he tried to sort of come after Alexander Usyk, and getting knocked out, dropped and then knocked out by a left hook. Where I thought when he got up from the first knockdown, I was thinking maybe he's gonna try like get behind his jab, but he just went straight in, and then after they getting you know, they clapped out, knocked out by an Alexander Usyk, pretty clean on the chin, right on the button left hook, and then that's all she wrote. But yeah, man, it was like great victory from, you know, Alexander Usyk. I thought maybe I expected a bit more. I think, to be fair, I think a lot of UK fans were expecting a bit more from Daniel Dubois, but what can you do, man? He just wasn't able to put it together. And Alexander Usyk again, like I said, beating AJ, beating Tyson Fury, beating Daniel Dubois, all of them twice. This guy just came UK and beating fighters, man. He beat Dereck Chisora as well. And to be fair, like I said, Dereck Chisora out of everyone has been the fighter that has actually performed the best out of all of these British fighters he's fought so far. Like, he done better than Tony Bellew did in that cruiserweight fight. He done better than AJ, in my opinion. He done better than Tyson Fury, and definitely done better than Daniel Dubois. If I had to rank these big guys' performances against Usyk, I'll put Chisora's performance number 1. I'll put Tyson Fury number 2, AJ number 3, Dubois number 4. That's how I'd rank him, because at least, you know, Chisora had, and that's an older version of Chisora. We're not talking about Chisora from yesteryear. We're talking about this version. He still did relatively well, even though he still lost. But yeah, man, it's tough. Alexander Usyk is just, it's a matrix that no one seems to be able to solve. He comes in, he boxes the way he wants to box, and then everyone's got a plan until they face this guy. Get in the ring, face this guy. Everyone say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. We get in the ring. What's going on, bro? Nothing's happening. what can you say? But what happens now, man? Where's Usyk going now? Because I don't want to say, like, people are saying Joseph Parker should have his chance. Joseph Parker should do. I don't think Usyk's gonna. I don't think Joseph Parker's beating Usyk, man. He's not. He's not beating Usyk, man. It's not gonna happen. Because think about it this way. Let's just break it down. Does Joseph Parker? Does anyone believe Joseph Parker can beat Alexander Usyk by unanimous, like, on the scorecards? I don't think so. I don't think so. So now we're looking at setting up the shots to be able to get this guy out of there. He's gonna be able to do it. It's heavyweight boxing. But for whatever reason, I don't think really people have. I don't really see, like, much confidence in Parker actually beating Usyk. The only reason why people are really calling for Parker to fight Usyk is that he does deserve a shot, which he does. He's beat Deontay Wilder, he's beat Zhilei Zhang, beat Martin Pakoli. So he's got a good string of fights. He was meant to actually fight Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois pulled out on illness. So he does deserve to actually have a title shot. But that's a different question from, can he actually beat Usyk? Because what I've seen from Joseph Parker before, like, when he has a bit of pressure, he's under pressure, he's taking shots, he's finding it difficult. Like, the guy just disappears in fights, not beating Usyk. Nah, we're not doing that, man. Usyk's gonna retire soon, so I want to see guys in there that I think could actually beat the guy, not Usyk, not all this Joseph Parker business. They're looking at Ajit Kabay. Now, Ajit Kabay is a fight that I think could work, not necessarily because I think Kabay will beat Usyk, but the financials make sense. Usyk Kabayel's from Germany. There's a lot of Ukrainians going to be in Germany. They could probably do a stadium fight in Germany. It will sell out. So it might make sense for Usyk to fight Usyk Kabayel from the financial perspective. Place there, but I don't know. Is that whether Turkey Usyk going to be interested in that kind of arrangement? But it makes sense though. It's a homecoming fight, like, not because. It's not necessarily like Usyk's not obviously German, but there's a lot of Ukrainians in Germany. And to fight Ajit Kabayel, it's his home country as well. So it'll probably be a good fight. And I think Ajit Kabayel, good string of victories himself. He's beaten Frank Sanchez. He's beat Makhmudov before the Frank Sanchez fight. And he's beaten Zhilei Zhang in place there. And 2 out of those 3 fights, body assault, which Usyk don't like. So if we want anyone to explore these body shots, Kabayel, come and do your thing, my bro. Let's see if you can do body shots on this guy and stop him. But Usyk's gonna know Ajit Kabayel's gonna be on the body shot, so maybe he's gonna just make the adjustments to not get knocked out. Mate, is this guy gonna leave the heavyweight division undefeated? I don't know. But how long is Usyk gonna stay in this heavyweight division for, though? Because, like, he was good against Dubois, but he's definitely slower than he was when he fought AJ the first time. So is he going to go 39-40? Because the longer he stays in this division, it increases the likelihood he's going to fight some young guy that could end up causing problems. Because they're talking about him fighting maybe Moses Itauma. Moses Itauma's sharp, he's fast, he's younger, his boxing IQ is high. He hasn't fought like I say A-level, B-level fighters yet, but the fundamentals are there. Like, you would think that he could be a problem potentially, in my opinion. But maybe it's too soon for Moses Itauma. But don't let Usyk shouldn't stay around too long, where he's gonna end up fighting someone. Because eventually, if Usyk stays around too long, there will be someone that will be able to beat him. Because he's gonna get slower, he's gonna get older, and it just takes a half a split second of you're a bit older. You weren't able to pull back from the shot quick enough, and then you find yourself on the canvas. So I feel like there will be strategic potentially sort of who they choose to fight, making it meaningful fights. Like, Usyk already been talking about wanting to fight Tyson Fury a 3rd time. I'm not interested in that fight, because if Usyk beats Tyson Fury again, we've seen it before. I want to see him fight other people. If I had to rank 3 fighters I actually want Usyk to fight, I would like to see him fight from a stylistic perspective, because I want to see him fight different styles. I don't know where Andy Ruiz is at, but I feel like that would be an interesting fight if Andy Ruiz was actually on it, because the fast hands, the walking forward, like, I feel like that would be interesting. I want to see how Usyk will deal with that type of fighter. I'd like to see him fight, like I said, Ajit Kabayel as well. That's the one I'd like to see, just because of the way, like, I've seen Ajit Kabayel dispatching of other fighters who they're not like Usyk, but Ajit Kabayel's from Germany. like I said, I already described, it might make sense financially. So it could be a fight that could most likely get done. And Ajit Kabay is ranked quite highly in the WBC. I think Ajit Kabay, is he WBC interim champion? I think he might be. So there's a good chance that he's going to get a shot. So it's close to potentially happening. So I'd like to see that fight. And what else is there? You've got Ajit Kabay. You've got is it Zilai Zhang? I don't know. I don't really think, is that a fight that could potentially happen. Maybe not. Zhang's coming off a loss, so I don't really think that anything like that could potentially come about. But yeah, man. I think third fight is, to be fair, third fight is kind of in the mix. There's no one really like out there. I could say Joseph Parker, but I don't really think Joseph Parker's gonna be able to. But then again, you could put Joseph Parker in there. You know, he deserves his title shot. He deserves his title shot, and on his day, especially this new version of Parker we've been seeing, maybe he's not like the old Parker. Maybe this version of Parker we've seen fighting Zhang, has beaten Deontay Wilder. He's had a good string of victories. Joseph Parker beat Martin Bakoli, knocked him out, even though 2 days notice. But yeah, maybe Parker could, maybe the hunger to win the belts. He's been working hard. Maybe Parker really gonna bring the heat. So yeah, I think Andy Ruiz, Joseph Parker, Ajit Kabay, those are three fighters I'd like to see. See Usyk fight. I think those would be a good, interesting sort of matchups there. But yeah, hats off to Usyk, conquering the UK's heavyweight boxing scene. I don't think there's anyone else left for him to fight in the UK, maybe apart from maybe young Moses Itama, which I think is a bit too soon for him. I think Moses Itama should probably just bide his time, wait for those belts to sort of splinter off, and then he'll pick up a world heavyweight title and, see where it goes from there. But maybe again, you never know, because Turkey Al Sheikh talking about he wants Itama Usyk. Money talk, the money big. Things happening out there, man. People gonna take these fights with get some serious paydays, but. Big up to Usyk, man. Be sure to like the video, share the video, drop your comments in the comment section below. Where do you guys see Usyk going from here? Who do you want to see Usyk fight next? And where does Daniel Dubois go from here? That's another thing. Because, it's going to be interesting to see, like, where Dubois sort of fits in, in the heavyweight division, like, sort of from here. Like, who should Dubois fight next? I'm not really entirely sure. They'll probably say he's probably going to want to come in against someone that is like not the low level, but someone that he can fight and just go straight back in, to contention for titles, because belts are going to fragment soon. He wants to be in line to probably win another world title again. But yeah, man, hats off to Usyk. Who's next? Let's see. See you on the next one. Cool.